coming. Coach Hazell is joined today by left tackle Brian Winters, defensive tackle Roosevelt and left guard Josh Kline.
Well, after studying the film and watching our guys, we continue to play hard in all phases, and this team just continues to amaze where they are in their maturity level and their efforts and their attention to detail, and they've really figured it out how to win. And it's fun to be around these guys because they are so mature. Obviously, you go on the road against a very good opponent and execute the way we did in the first half. A lot of good things are going to happen. We came out of the locker room flying around, and I thought we were hitting on all cylinders, and we're able to get up to a huge lead. Kind of fell asleep a little bit in the second half, that third quarter. Gave up some big seam throws and didn't execute as well as we could on offense. But, we responded when we had to respond at the back end of the third quarter, the beginning part of the fourth quarter. And, it was great to come away with a big win like that on the road.
For all four of you guys, what's it like being ranked in the AP poll?
It's awesome. Coach told us, not really to worry about it too much because we just got to continue playing, but it's a great feeling.
And honestly, I'm not satisfied. I don't think the team is satisfied just being ranked in the top 25. We still have a goal out there to win the MAC, and so that's all we're worried about this week.
We still got 2 MAC games left, so that's great, but we still got to be the best in the MAC.
We'll worry about the rankings when the season's over with. We don't have time to concern ourselves with rankings right now.
This for all you guys. The last couple weeks you've been playing against type, strength against weakness, in terms of competition. This game is strength on strength. Just talk about that challenge and how you guys prepare them. Maybe start with coaching.
You're absolutely right. These are 2 good football teams playing against each other. Look very similar as you watch the film. Their front 7 is exceptional. I think their defensive line is very good, very active. Their linebackers run and they tackle extremely well. They play some man coverage on the outside, which always presents an issue. But from our offensive standpoint and their defensive standpoint, I think that they're very evenly matched. And if you flip to the other side of the ball, they do a good job with their quarterback getting it out of his hands very fast, try to drop it off in swings and bubbles, and he's a good player where he can keep the ball alive. And their running back came alive, I thought, in the Ohio game and made some huge plays. Very strong, physical runner. So it's very evenly matched football, and they're playing great special teams right now. So it's you're probably looking in the mirror a little bit.
You're talking how Bowling Green plays great special teams. They just made it a nightmare for Ohio's punt coverage. Are you guys going to spend a little bit extra time on punt coverage this week?
We're going to do our normal deal. We put a lot of attention into our punt unit. That's our #1 play in football for us, and we'll spend the same amount of time. But obviously, you're right. They stressed out Ohio. Every time Ohio lined up to punt the ball, there was some stress being involved. So we're going to have to do a good job of protecting the punter.
Good to see, and again, this is looking ahead, good to see Freddie hit a couple big ones down in Miami. That may be the one area when you're comparing the 2 teams. Field goal kicking might be an advantage for you.
Yeah, Freddie's really come on as of late. Been very consistent, very solid for us. He has a lot of range, as we all know. And they've struggled in their field goal unit throughout the course of this year. Had a couple misses. They've changed their kicker a couple times. So hopefully that can pay some big dividends for us in this football game.
Josh and Brian, Dree and Durham both reached 1,000 yards on the season. How's it feel that you guys are blocking for 2 guys that both passed the 1,000-yard mark?
You know what? It's very exciting as an O-line unit, and we've done well so far. And those 2 are great running backs. You got speed with Dree, and then Trayon's just a bruiser. And you know what? It's great. It's a great feeling when if you make a block, just fit up on a guy, they're just gonna run past you or run through you. So you know what? It's a good feeling.
Yeah, like Josh said, it's a great thing. Both having 2,000-yard rushers. As a unit, we're really happy, and we want to continue to work hard. Like Josh said also, they're two different types of backs, so that's what, makes the defense confused. They don't know if we're going to pass it or run it fast or go through the middle, so brings good size. So
These two have been playing exceptional all year long, but I thought that was our best performance of our whole offensive line of the year. All 5 of those guys graded out at winning performances, which has not happened. And if these guys can continue to play the way they're playing, and those other guys can keep supporting us like they have, I like our chances.
Rosie, you guys on the defensive side have really been gouged a little bit the last couple weeks. A lot of yards, not as many points. Is there anything that you guys can do in a game like this that has the look of being a 1 touchdown, 1 possession, 10-point game?
Well, as far as the last couple of weeks, we played some good offenses. Miami and both Akron, they both, Dysart. And Akron was #1 passing in the MAC. So, we just got to prepare, for anything. Bowling Green, the second half of our schedule is just, completely, it's not an easy task. Our offenses are on the other teams are just as good as the next. So preparing for it, they're going to make plays, and we're going to have to make plays too. It's just how many times we're going to stop them compared to how many times they're going to score.
Coach, can you talk about that third quarter and how much of it, the lull maybe, or at least on the defensive side, was just because with the half, they have time to really take a look at what they're doing and change some things? Or was it once you get up the way you get up, you just naturally relax a little bit?
I don't think anyone naturally relaxes. As at halftime, they're making changes just like we're making changes. So their coaches are just like our coaches. If they see something, they're going to go and change it during halftime, and our adjustments compared to their adjustments is, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you got to make more adjustments when you go out. It just doesn't work like you thought it would work, So it was just good coaching on both sides, and just a bend but don't break mentality.
Coach, you mentioned something Saturday. You got me thinking a little bit. We had asked, you went through the whole third quarter. For whatever reason, Dree never got in the backfield. You said that's just how the rhythm of it was. And I'm surprised that hasn't happened more often this year, actually. Either with him or with Treya. Maybe the only game I could think, maybe Kentucky, maybe he got caught in a little of that. But can you talk to that and just how, looking back, like I say, you never, maybe in the third quarter you don't have that slow start if you got.
Well, what happened was, I don't know if you remember, but the first couple series we were 3 and outs. Right. So that doesn't allow for you to have many plays to get Dree in at the backfield. We like to run Trey on 3 or 4 series in a row before we spell him with Dree, but we didn't execute as well in those first 2 series, so it was 3 downs and punt, 3 downs and punt. Now all of a sudden, they were having some success on offense. Trey's only played 6 plays, so you keep Trey in there to try to get the offense going. So it was a matter of plays, and those guys stopping us and us not executing, really, more so than anything else.
But it's interesting that hadn't happened much.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, a couple players got banged up in the fourth quarter. Injury report this week.
We should have all players available. Larry Dawson got banged on the first play of the game. He should be okay. Trayon took a significant shot on the quad, sore obviously, but should be okay for Saturday. And it's November the 3rd week. You're going to have some beat-up guys right now, but this is about that November toughness that we always talk about with our football team. You got to show up and play, and that's everybody across the country. It's not just us.
For the players, just, obviously playing for what you're playing for after what you guys have been through. to get to this point. Can you just kind of talk about not getting too caught up in that and just playing, keeping things like you have to get to this point?
Yeah, I feel, Coach is stressing to us, we just got to come out here and play like it's just another game. We can't, overcompensate for what we have in front of us. We just got to continue to go out and play football. And, it's great, what we've all experienced in the past. But this is definitely a different route, and we got to continue to keep working hard, and we'll see what the outcome is.
Let me try this another way. What's it like? I mean, usually most week, you got to do this with the quarterback and this with the tail. This is a lineman's game, really, on both sides of the ball. And you guys, this is in your hands. Do you guys sense that? And then what do you think of it?
Yeah, I feel, they have a really good front seven, like Coach said, and, we have a really good offensive line. And what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to play the way we've been playing. We're not going to change anything up. And we're not going to feel like there's anything that has to be changed. We're going to continue playing smash mouth football, which we have been. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical game on both sides of the ball in the trenches. So, we just got to play physical. We got to play smart. We got to also execute. And we can't have any mistakes as a group on both sides, D-line and O-line. And you know what? They have a good front seven. They have a good offensive line. So it's going to be a battle. And we just got to come out and just execute. And coaches have been preaching about that. We got to play in ourselves this week. Can't play outside of ourselves. And we can't really worry about it. I mean, we know the significance of this game, what it's going to be, but we just got to go out there, execute, and have fun.
All the players that kind of touch on this, Rosie, what's it just like playing? If you guys win the MAC East title.
It's just another football game right now. We gotta prepare to celebrate. Handle success. Doesn't mean anything if we don't win. We control our own destiny. So, like they said, it's gonna be a battle. Can't think about that. You gotta think about the battle.
Coach, where's an advantage either way? If this is going to be such a game determined by the lines, if you could see it, I could see where they could do well on this side. Where could you do well? Where do you think that they?
This game will come down to, in my opinion, to the team that has the greatest will in the fourth quarter. Because, again, I think we have great players. They have great players. They're going to make their plays. We're going to make our plays. The team that makes the least mistakes, doesn't turn it over, and has the greatest will in the fourth quarter is probably going to win this football game. And the will of this football team that sits in our locker room is pretty good.